Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our Thursday morning trading room. Hang on one second here. I will get you my monitor. The market just opened up and we're trying to put in a little bit of a rally here. There's a little bit of an opening gap from where they left off yesterday. Let's take a look here. Oh, let's take a look at the Raptor. Kind of get a feel for what's going on. So you can see, looks like the European session was pretty much in decline. However, the Asian session put in quite the rally. So we actually finished the day down here somewhere. And then we got a lot of activity during the Asian session, which is a little bit unusual. Most times the Asian session is a little bit quiet. The European Open came, and then all of a sudden the market started reversing all those gains. And this is where we're at right now. So we've got that little bit of an opening gap just kind of sitting above us. Opening gaps like that, when they're kind of close, I always expect them to be filled. In fact, here on the Eagle, we're starting to print a hard edge bounce. This current bar is going to become our signal bar. It's the one that's going to flip the ATR over. Now, of course, it's very early, right? There's a lot of opportunity here for a sucker type move. It's only, what, 2 or 3 minutes since the open. All right, so it looks like we're getting a second push on that entry. So the bar has kind of shown us its current limits. We could try to get in there and try to pick up on some of the downside momentum. See if that market's not going to get into that gap. Come on, there you go. All right, well, the trade's at break even now, so we're playing on with their dime now. Oh, come on, don't look back too far. Come on, sellers. There we go. Okay, it looks like we're going to be able to find our... Oh, sorry. Spoke too soon. I was going to say, it looks like we're going to be able to find our profit objective, but they're still waffling just above there. Come on, sellers. Okay. Well, I admit I was a little bit concerned about that being so early in the session, but it looks like they found that profit target no problem. And I think we had comparable signals here on our other tools as well. Let's take a look here at the hawk. Yep, nice first micro macro cross signal there. Exceptional follow through on that one. Notice the width of our bars. We're starting to get some extra buying support coming into the market. And a trend change signal right here with the Falcon. We got an early trend change signal back here, about the same time we took our Eagle trade. And then we got the proper trend change signal right here. Had a second chance with the trend line touch, all of which had pretty decent follow through. And last but not least, we had, well, a very good hard edge bounce here on the Raptor. Came out, produced our sell signal, actually off of a yellow bar. Had the full in sync signal right here. And it looks like we're now back down toward yesterday's close, more or less. They're still in free fall there. Sorry, I was taking a look here at what crude oil was up to. Crude oil is put in a pretty strong rally this morning. Let's take a look here at crude on the Eagle. And you can see that out of the open, same thing, we got the hard edge bounce. Nice rally out of crude. Now crude of course opens at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, so they open up a little bit early. But crude on a little bit of a tear to the upside. It might finally have gotten out of that trading range that's confined the market for such a long time now. So while I was looking away, I see that we got a nice macro pullback signal here in the NQ. So hopefully somebody was able to take advantage of that. First micro macro cross followed by a macro pullback, almost guaranteed to make you money. soybeans. Here are soybeans this morning, looking like they might want to head a little bit higher, possibly working on a late filter entry signal here. These are always interesting. Whenever your trend line does not change color and your filter goes out of sync, and most important, has to come back into sync, you generate a signal. That is a very high probability signal. And it does look as though soybeans are on the march. So keep a lookout here for a buying opportunity in soybeans. I wasn't expecting the market to be quite as bearish as it is today. I guess that overnight from the European session, being a little bit more influential, a lot of times we'll see the market reverse against the overnight session. But that's not the case today, not yet anyway. Well, lots of good opportunities to get in here this morning. I might just start concentrating here on the NQ because the trades are slipping past me here. Here was a 4-arrow consolidation right there on the hawk. This bad boy right here. So this morning out of the hawk, we've had 3 or 4 tremendous signals on the hawk alone. All right, now we're starting to get back to some more familiar support around this whole 130 area. Still about 10 ticks away. Look at them go. All right, and now they're starting to put the brakes on. Let's see how many zones we're down here. 1, 2, 3. We're into the third zone. That's pretty substantial. Nice way to start the day. Okay, so the buyers finally showing up. Looks like we're going to have a rather extended range today. Getting another opportunity here on the Hawk, working on a green bar sell. I suspect that this little hiccup down here might have been our test of the extreme. Could be a whole lot of profit taking going on already too. And now we're starting to get the makings of a first micro macro cross signal. Well, thanks, Jim. Jim just shot me some advanced decline numbers. Almost 1,500 buyers and only 114 sellers, and yet the market fell like a rock. Okay, here on the Falcon, we're getting our trend change signal. Come on, Falcon, there we go. Sorry, my computer, all the software I'm running, it's lagging a little bit here. I am looking for a little bit of a reaction to the upside given all the downward momentum that we saw. And it usually comes in the form of profit taking. Jim says the double cloud on the YM is 54 ticks wide, which would suggest a reversal. You can see our Falcon trade has found its profit objective. On that trend change signal. little bit of a mixed bag now. Note we're getting a first micro macro cross on the hawk. We're also into the hard edge on the eagle. Just looking here at the double band on the Raptor. Okay, so Jim says it was 20 ticks, which is huge. So let's see, we were 41.47, just measuring the band now. So at the widest part, 41.48 to 41, yeah, 35. That's like 30 ticks, just about 30, 33 ticks, or pardon me, points. Okay, getting a little bit of buying activity going on. Here's our first micro macro cross that I was just about to go highlight, and it has now run away. Okay, this hard edge coming into play, I believe. Could see a run back to the lows here. The Raptor already much more aggressive. We're working on a cloud crossover here. We'll see whether they produce a buy signal or a sell signal. If it's a sell signal, it could be a soft edge bounce. If it's a buy signal, it could be a cloud crossover. Our Geiger counter, look at how it's waffling. My goodness, the buyers and sellers are active today. Well, that's what we want. Well, the advanced decline evening up a lot, almost 1,700 on the buy and about 1,100 on the sell. So that's roughly a positive 700. Yeah, Jim says normally he'd be looking to buy at a test of the low, but we never got it. I think we will. Just the hard edges here. We haven't seen a real test of the extreme on the eagle yet, so they still owe me that. And here comes the Raptor now. See how everything is waffling? It's starting to turn over. Let's see if we can get a soft edge sell signal here out of the Raptor. There it is. And I'll throw a stop in above the swing high. So now we're looking for our test of the extreme. A little bit of a hop to the downside here, perhaps. Come on, sellers. Come on. Here we go. Getting a little bit more sell pressure here. There we go. Okay, so we've hit our break-even trigger. I'm going to move into parabolic mode now. Shoot, I might even go bar high-low. Just squeeze this trade all the way. Because what we're looking at now is a test of the extreme, right? If it gets back down here to this 4130 area, great. If not, well, there we go. We may have just seen our test of the extreme. So had I left the trade alone, I think my entry was right about here, 41.46. Let's see if I could have rode out a break-even stop. Oh, looks like I could have. And what about the parabolics? Oh, would have been dicey with parabolics. But I think we may have been able to hang in there with the parabolics. Well, here we go. Well, Jim, you're going to get your chance. Looks like they're going to hit those 4130 lows, at least on the NQ. Oh, and great signal here. Nice first micro-macro cross on the Hawk, and a green bar sell on the Eagle. Oh, well, and the trifecta. A trend change signal here on the Falcon also, so loads of opportunities. Look at the width of these bars as we get back down here. So we've tagged 4131. Nice opportunity on the macro pullback signal. Ay, chihuahua, look at them go. Okay, a lot of buying support. You can tell from the width of these bars. These bars are very, very active. A lot of buyers coming into the market or sellers exiting. Right now it's impossible to say one way or the other. We actually just generated a soft edge sell here on the Raptor. I'm a little bit late for it. We'll see if we get a second chance. Green bar sell, which I would probably look at buying the failure, and a possible trend change signal here in the Falcon. So we've got a few things looking a little bit more bullish. Jim says the ticks just hit a negative 1,000, which it tends to be kind of bullish. Just hit our first micro macro cross signal, which I'm going to be too late on, and we're getting our, come on computer, getting our trend change signal here on the Falcon again. Nice thing about these early ones is that you can cover them below the lows. Nuts. I'm going to have to talk to my computer guy. Oh, for crying out loud. All right, well, we saw it, even though I can't get into it. First micro macro cross, trend change signal, soft edge buy on the Raptor. A couple of opportunities here so far. Did they hit our profit target? No. Just kind of flirting with our break-even trigger. Would have hit our break-even, kind of flirting with our stops. Oh, looks like that would have turned out to be a break-even trade. Makes me feel a little bit better, I guess. Okay, here comes the Raptor again with a buy signal. This is a little early for a cloud crossover. Shoot. Oh, computers are great when they work. Okay, the buyer's trying to get a little bit more active here. So we've got some obvious resistance right here. We generated our buy signal. I'm delaying the entry just a little bit, trying to keep up with my computer here. All right, there they go. So once again, you can see we've had a plethora of signals this morning. There's your 50-cent word for the day. Macro pullback signal, late filter entry signal. Let's watch here our Raptor signal. And we're just about to hit our first profit target. Get our stops at break even. Come on, get up there. Get up there. Don't you dare look back. Not now. There we go. Oh, come on. Don't look too far back. Oh, they're floundering. Okay, well, it's all right. We took profit on one, break even on the other. It was worth a try. I honestly thought we were going to see a little bit more out of that one, but we still might. This is definitely a four-figure day today. No question. Yeah, Mark says that he's having some difficulty with the with some lag as well on the charts, and I'm going to be talking to the programmers later today. Mark says the equivolume bars seem to have slowed his computer down, and I know you've got a screaming fast computer, Mark. Yeah, Randy's having a similar issue. I don't know for sure. I am going to be talking to the programmers later today. Um, they were commenting on the equivolume bars need a lot of data in order to print. So uh, the programmer is taking a look at the programming to try to streamline it some. So hopefully we'll have that issue resolved shortly. But yeah, it can be very annoying, especially on a day like today when the market is moving rather quickly. Yeah, Randy says he's also got a very fast machine. Mine's a few years old now, so I could understand if mine was running a little bit behind, but even so, I've got an i7 quad processor that's faster than most. And a pretty fast video card to boot. Jim's asking if we're running a 64-bit machine. I am running a 64-bit. I would assume that Mark and Randy are also. I know Mark's is brand new. I'm not even sure you can buy a 32-bit machine anymore. Well, you can, but you know they're the real low-end ones. Yeah, Randy says he's running a 64-bit also. Okay, a little bit of thrashing about now as I think we might be finding a little bit of a top for that recent rally. Excuse me. Okay, just fired off a note to give the programmers a little bit of a heads up for when I speak to them later. And nice little first micro macro cross here. I think we're going to see the market top out a little bit now. That was a pretty big run to the upside there. Let's take a look here on the Eagle. We did get a really quick trend change signal on the Eagle here. We got another trend change signal, or with trend signal here. I'm not sure that second one would have reached the profit objective. Let's shoot it off of the trend line just to see. Oh, it did. It did find it off of the trend line. If you use the next bar as your signal bar, you would still be hunting for that profit objective. I would probably suggest getting that stop in fairly tightly there, because we could be seeing a little bit of a pullback now from this rather large move up. All right. Working on a little bit of a trend change signal here, but we're starting to lose some of the earlier structure that we had. Yeah, it looks like Marks might have nailed the cause of the lag. He says he went back just to the regular candlestick and the lag disappeared right away. So it does look like there's a little bit of a program hog going on with the echo volume bars, a little bit of a memory hog. And I will definitely keep you guys abreast of what is going on. Hmm. All right, well, it looks like a stronger move to the downside, certainly stronger than what I anticipated. Wow, just a roller coaster. Yeah, I know. Jim's saying, are we going to see a test of 41.42? Well, we're back down there. I admit, this little move here, I saw this first micro-macro cross back here, and I didn't know whether I really wanted to get on board with it. I knew there was a lot of buying pressure here from the width of these bars. So here's the first micro-macro cross signal printing right here. I probably would have set it up like that. Found the profit target no problem and slipped considerably lower. So we're getting huge follow through on our moves today, which is great. Plenty of opportunities. Getting a red bar buy signal here on the crude oil market, here on the Eagle. So it just changed over, this now becoming our signal bar. Crude oil, of course, insanely expensive. Doggone it, I can't even frame it like that. So as you can tell, I don't get a lot of crude oil trades off on the Eagle because of the risk amounts. But it does look like crude oil may be trying to put in a little bit of a rally off of this red bar buy. Jim's really watching these clouds. Let me bring over the YM here on the Raptor. We'll take a look at this double cloud that Jim's monitoring. So he says he got long at 37 and 14 when the cloud was 58 ticks thick. So it turned at 66 ticks, which would be down here. Oh, I see Jim's running a slightly faster cloud. He's running a 6 and 11. But at any rate, what Jim observed, which was a pretty good observation, I'm kind of keeping an eye on it myself, is when these clouds get really, really wide like this, there tends to be a reversal. Now, for those of you who like your oscillator type indicators, when the cloud gets really, really wide like this is actually showing an oversold condition. That's why we're seeing the market pull back. And likewise, when you get the extreme this way, this is very overbought. Right? This is very overbought here. So if you generate, this is what we refer to as the soft edge sell. In this case, the soft edge sell, the reverse down here would be the soft edge buy right here. And essentially that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a very overbought or oversold condition and then the market to retrace. Now Jim's been documenting it a little bit better, trying to get a good feel for how wide that range actually has to be in order to give us a good signal. Here on the Eagle, this was one of our better Eagle signals this morning. We had a red bar buy. Notice that even though the price is faded well below the band just barely turned over, but not really enough to nix the signal. Everything was already in sync with the ATR, and there we go. Just tagged our high probability target, so not a bad move for the Eagle there. Excuse me. Jim says that was 66 was one of the largest bands that he's recorded so far. That is pretty extreme, I have to admit. Well, we're in a little bit of a no man's land at the moment. Still some decent ranges, but no real indication as to which way the market wants to go. Our tools are a little bit out of sync. The Eagle and the Raptor looking a little bit more bullish, whereas the Hawk and the Falcon starting to look a little bit more bearish. we do have the first micro macro cross here. I'm going to put it on just for demonstration purposes. It's not the most attractive first micro macro cross, and the reason is the market is, we're floundering a lot here. Haven't really seen a real good test of the extreme. Like I said, hard to get a handle on which way this market is drifting. Well, in spite of that, they came down very quickly. So played the percentages and managed to get a good trade out of it. Percentages being the high probability trade or the signal off of that first micro macro cross. Getting some support now off of our secondary support level at 41.42, so we did drift back there. This morning's range is so large, it's we got a lot of room, even though we're right in the middle of the day's session. I think, what was our high? High was off the open around 41.80, I think. Oop, my first hour indicator not printing. Oh, where'd you go? All right, well, I'll deal with that later. Yeah, 41.77 1/4 was the high. Thanks, Mark. And the low of the session around 41.22. Where was the low? Yeah, down here, 41.22. So right now we're hovering right in the middle and pretty content to be there. Another red bar buy off of the eagle. We got a chance for a second push on this one. We have had a test of the extreme, so almost as though the market is setting up to be a little bit range bound. Okay, so that signal since voided. Boy, there's a lot of room to move lower here. Long way from 41.43 to 41.22 or 21. Okay, so it looks like the buyers are digging in a little bit. Okay, well, the eagle is producing a signal. We've got our warning dot. Scared them off. Nice analogy, Jim, and fantastic. Jim says 24 trades for the week, plus 600 points with no losses. Well done. That is fantastic. He says, now I know what it feels like to be Ted Williams hitting. Yeah, no joke. Can't miss. That's incredible. Well done, Jim. All right, so gonna give it a poke to the upside. $41.60 is going to be a little bit of a barrier. That's up here, but we do have room. A little bit late catching that red bar buy, obviously. Well, that's fantastic. Jim says it's the indicator warehouse experience that allowed me to discover a trading strategy with discipline. That sounds like a great testimonial, Jim. And it thrills me to death when I hear about your guys' successes. It really does. All right, so here's that first micro macro cross signal. Still waiting on the Falcon and Raptor to produce a signal. This is a doozy, right? Because I'm pretty much confined to stretching it way down here as we're getting too close to this 4160 area. Could be a major retracement in the books here. Okay, get up there. Don't leave me hanging now. In fact, I'm going to chicken out and go straight to the parabolics. Get up there. Come on, you can do it. Just a tick shy of my break-even trigger, and that would have been the tick that I delayed. Come on, boys and girls. Get up there. No. They're going to tap me there, but that's all right. I'm not prepared to give them too much room here because I suspect that they're going to do one of these. You know, if we couldn't follow through to retest 4160, then that's probably an indication. Good time to jump ship. The advanced decline still a little bit on the bullish side. We've got almost 1700 on the buy, 1200 on the sell, so that's about a positive 500. Alright, so now we're getting our first micro-macro cross lower, and it looks like we're about to print a trend change signal on the Raptor also, as well as the Falcon. No, don't go into yellow bars. There we go, we're into yellow bars. Green bar sell. And you probably noticed we're getting a little bit of a mixed bag of signals there. The eagle starting to look a little bit bullish again. So this now our green bar sell, looking for a test of the extreme, possible short-term move lower. There we go. That'll make up for that little bit of a loss that we had up there. Yeah, just a lot of this sideways nonsense. Yeah, anything that we get right now, I think the big ranges are finished at least for the next half hour, 45 minutes. Here's the problem we're having. The market's wedging up pretty good here. In fact, you could even do one of these. You get a double tap on the bottom. That's why we're not seeing a whole lot of follow through, because of this very tight little wedge that we're building. Okay, Mark's asking about this wedge formation. What does it tell us? Well, it essentially tells us a market that's trapped, right? So any signal that you take, you need to anticipate that the market's going to stop when it reaches the trend line that I've drawn here. So this red bar buy, you still had room to find your profit objective. This one, not so much. You could have scalped in and out. This is essentially where I tried to do that hawk trade, and you can see why I ran into trouble here. It just got too close to the upper boundary of this trading range. The market knocked it down. You could be a little bit more aggressive on these ranges and actually trade a breakout signal. Like here we're 1, 2, 3. This is sort of a rule of 3 type signal here on the eagle. If you wanted to be more aggressive, you could certainly do something like that. Signal actually generated right here. So let me see if I can't get that a little tighter. We'll pretend we took it on the hash mark. Okay, we'll take it down here. The thing with these breakouts, though, is that they're very similar to breakouts from channels, where very often you're going to be left with a test and a retest, and then you get your signal. That's the more predictable way to get in. But it's always tempting whenever the ranges get tight like this to take the breakout, because of course we can cover the trade reasonably close to where we originated. Ideally, I would have liked to take this on the hash mark, as that was in sync already. And it does look like the market is reluctant to head a little bit higher, so we may see it come down here, try to retest the lows. Like I say, 41, 21, 22. We got a long ways to go, so there's a lot of opportunity here for a bigger move to the downside. Mark asked, what does it tell us besides the consolidation? Well, the consolidation is first and foremost, right? A lot of times when the market is wedging like this one's pretty symmetrical, but sometimes it will look a little bit lopsided. So let me clean this up. So if you get a wedge, if you get the market that's wedging like this, more or less, it will have a tendency to break down. And vice versa. If you have a market which is wedging like this, it will have a tendency to break up. If you have a market that's giving you a head and shoulders style formation, which this one is not, but we'll pretend for a moment. This will very often make a little bit of a wedge. So if you anticipate the wedge, I know I just said that these types of wedges very often break up, but that's just a general rule of thumb, right? If it's preceded by a test of the extreme, regardless of which way the wedge is forming, I would still expect it to break down. It's always I'll always give preference to the test of the extreme, because that's got a little bit more solid price structure to it. We should be pretty close to our profit objective by now. And this candle right here gives us a very nice candle above with this wick on here. It'd be a good one to roll my stops in above. If it fails there, at least looks like I'm going to protect about $100 in open profit. Yeah, there we go. We'll see whether I stop myself out too early there again. But I don't mind drawing, well, as you know, I don't mind drawing trend lines on my charts. Just for, for a reference. And sometimes with the eagle, it's helpful to shoot these things into the history of the chart. You're going to allow me to adjust it. And you can see how that affects the market as it goes on. So that vertical one doesn't look like it has a whole lot of significance to it. Let's follow this one a little bit further. I might have to go to something like a daily chart or a larger time frame, because I'm not going to get, there's been too much activity today. I can't get yesterday's session in here. I'm trying to see where yesterday's lows fell and then shoot a trend line off of that, but it's not working. Okay, the more recent one is more important anyways. Yeah, Mark makes a good point here. He says, I've got trouble trying to decide when to take a red bar buy or a green bar sell when they're on the wrong side of the hard edge of the eagle. A lot of times I miss a good trade, like today. Now, we know when the market encounters the hard edge on the eagle, we should anticipate a reaction, right? So when it comes down here, even though this isn't a red bar buy, we've hit the hard edge. We need to anticipate some sort of reaction. We're getting a buy signal. Go ahead, buy it. Here we come down, we hit the hard edge, we blow past it. In fact, the band is starting to turn over, but we come back with a red bar buy. That is still okay. Here you can say nice hard edge bounce, green bar sell, never flipped over on the ATR, but still the setup was there. Next, red bar buy, same thing, come down, hit the hard edge, blow past it once again, generate a red bar buy. That one didn't trip, this one did, and it has a little bit of follow through. By now, you should think, oh, I'm getting a couple of peaks and they're starting to congest a little bit. Shoot a couple trend lines across there. That could make you a lot more aggressive on this red bar buy. And then now all of a sudden we're generating a green bar sell. We've had our test of the extreme. It's essentially a rule of three. And then the market declined a little bit. I know, these things are always easier to do in hindsight, but the more you practice them, the more you play with them, even if it's just in sim, the more confidence you're going to get with them. No. Okay, folks, I'm sorry. The time snuck up on me. It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to be meeting with Ben right now to try to get some of these issues rectified. So I'm going to close up the room real quick here, and I will see you again tomorrow morning. If you're trading this afternoon, I would not be surprised to see a test of this whole 41, 22, 24, 25 area, and that could give us another good buying opportunity. So keep a lookout for that. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Talk to you then. Bye.